Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena al Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena al Adonai. Naria, naria, letzur ishenu nekadma fanav letorah. Naria, naria, letzur ishenu Bizmirot naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena al Adonai. 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 Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Dai, 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 dai. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Dai, 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 dai. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Whether you're watching from physically close to Anshe Emeth here in New Brunswick or wherever you are, we wish you all a beautiful and peaceful and relaxing Shabbat. I know that it's been a tense week as American Jews. It's been a week full of stress and anxiety and uncertainty, and none of those things are fun to deal with. We humans like to know, we like to have certainty, and we like to be concrete about our future. But when so much is up in the air, such as how this nation is going to go and who will be our next leader, it's very difficult to cope and to function. So my wish for all of us is that we can let this Shabbat be the antidote to everything stressful about this week. This is such a gift from our tradition to remind us it's okay to take a pause. It's okay to stop refreshing our internet browsers and checking our phones and texting our friends and family about what's going on. It's okay. And in fact, it's not only okay, it's necessary. So I encourage you to take this Shabbat whether it's the next 24 hours or so, the full length of Shabbat, whether it's just the hour of this service, whether it's just this evening, any of that would be a great pause for us to kind of breathe, refresh ourselves instead of our internet and our computer screens, and listen to ourselves instead of all the news and all the media and all our friends and family. Because yes, we're worried and yes, we're anxious, but we also get to relax. And if God has to rest, so do we. God took that beautiful, special seventh day of creation and created rest. So let's take God up on that offer to us and allow ourselves to create rest and space for ourselves. To begin the Shabbat, I want to offer us a prayer by Rabbi Dr. Andrea Weiss, who's the provost of the seminary that all of your clergy have attended at some point. And she writes this beautiful prayer based on words from our text. So may this prayer for post-election days be helpful to us and encourage us to take the rest that we need so we can continue the work of what's ahead. Rabbi Weiss writes, "No matter what happens, this we know. We must recalibrate our national compass and reconfirm what matters most. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. How do we get from here to there? The Torah guides our way. It is not enough to love your neighbor as yourself. You must love the stranger as yourself. The prophets tell us what to do. Let justice roll up like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. The Psalms remind us, the night may be dark, but morning always comes. May we each do our part to bring about the dawning of a new day. Amen."
Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. I am so glad that you're here tonight to worship with us. It's been a very strange, long week, and I'm so happy that Shabbat is here. And please heed Rabbi's words tonight. Take this time on this Shabbat to relax, be introspective, and study because we all need it after this week. My name is David Levine. I'm president of Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. My pronouns are he and him. And again, welcome everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Tonight we have Nancy and Henry Cohen joining us to light the Shabbat candles. Nancy and Henry, now's the time. Don't forget to unmute.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Blessed all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Amen. We continue with Lechado D on page 20.
Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Lecha dodi likrat וזכור בדיבורך השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשמו תפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כפי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נעשוך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה ומצאי מתוך ההפכה רב לך שבט במקבלך והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה התארי מעפר כולי לבשי בגדי תפארתך מעל יד בן ישי בית הלך מקרבה אל נפשי גאלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נקרא לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקלמי מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי בך יחסו עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר עתילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה והיו לבשיסה שוסייך ורחקו כל מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמצוות חתן הכלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת לקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני, תעריצי על יד איש, ופרצי ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני
Please rise in body or
שבת
spirit.
נקבלה. בשלום עטרת בלגן, בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. היי, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Please rise in body or spirit for Baruchu.
La
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim.
אהבת עולם, בין ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. אהבת עולם, בין ישראל עמך אהבת, אהבת עולם, אותנו לימדת. אהבת עולם, בין ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. אהבת עולם, בין ישראל עמך אהבת, אהבת עולם, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם, אותנו לימדת. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נהגי יומם ולילה. באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אהבת עולם, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני שם כבוד, מלכותו לעולם, לעולם ועד.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Yai dai dai da dai da 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 da. Yai dai dai da dai da 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 da. Yai dai da dai da dai da 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 da. Yai dai dai da dai da 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 da. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'etar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele. נורא תהילות אוספלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני
Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
ושמרו בני ישראל, ושמרו את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל, ושמרו את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לעשות לדורותם ברית עולם. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day. And eternity utters a day. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Adonai Svatai, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei bneihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Hozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We continue with a moment of personal prayer and reflection.
לרצון אמרי פי, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיוני בי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Oh, may the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom imromav, uya'ase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru,
Humans aren't always willing to strike up a conversation with a stranger, but it seems like just about everyone can agree that when you're given a setup for a joke, you stop and wait for a punchline. So reports the Huffington Post, describing a video they published. In this video is Andrew Hills, a member of a college comedy group, approaching random people at a mall. A woman sitting in a food court, a man text messaging near the entrance, teenagers wandering by the fountain. Before they can even register that a stranger is talking to them, he hits them with an opening to a joke. For example, what did the koala bear say at the job interview? Some laugh nervously. Some look up quizzically. But as the article mentioned, most of them wait around for the punchline. Andrew then gives it to them. I have all the necessary qualifications. After a brief chuckle from all parties, he departs as quickly as he appeared. I found this video very refreshing. After all, when do you hear about funny and heartwarming interactions between total strangers these days? We are in the midst of a divisive and anxiety-filled election season that has left our country torn apart. We fear the other, and we're nervous about what people we don't know can do to us. It is nerve-wracking and even scary to interact with strangers, and much more comfortable to keep to ourselves. In this week's Torah portion, Vayera, our ancestors Abraham and Sarah are faced with the situation when three strangers come to visit. Abraham is not sitting in the food court of the mall, but outside his tent when the visitors approach him. A foreigner dwelling in the desert, he's in a vulnerable position. It is unclear what is coming next, but his interaction with these strangers will be pivotal. Just as our country is now, he is in a place of transition on his journey. Abraham sits right in the doorway of his dwelling place. Should he stay outside and face the unknown? Or should he go inside, showing the visitors that he does not want to interact with them? The Torah gives us the answer. When he saw them, he ran to meet them from the entrance of the tent and bowed himself to the ground. Vaya'ar ve'arotz likratam mipetach ha'ochel v'yishtachu arza. Not only does he open himself up to strangers, he runs to meet them. He both physically and emotionally moves forward, out of his place of transition into his explicit decision to receive and accept the other. And what does his wife Sarah do? At this point in our story, Sarah is very old. and she's been fervently praying for a baby for many years. The messengers, these strangers, tell her she's going to have a child. It is like one of the jokes that the Huffington Post reported about. What do you do when you're in your 90s and 3 strangers randomly show up at your tent and tell you that the unlikely thing you have been praying for is finally coming true? Of course, there is nothing to do but chuckle a bit. V'titzach Sarah b'kirba, and Sarah laughed within herself. Our sage Rashi says that Sarah's laughter makes reasonable sense. Of course she thinks that having a baby at this point in her life is ridiculous, and that the strangers are bringing her an unrealistic message. Rashi continues that her laughter is an indication of doubt, not merely a response to a joke, but also nervous laughter. It is an emotional reaction to her uncertainty about her own capability to face what lies ahead. Both Abraham's and Sarah's reactions to the strangers represent very human responses to the unknown. Abraham runs forward from his place of transition to embrace what comes next. Sarah laughs with doubt, skeptical about the message her visitors are bringing. Both of these replies are natural and instinctive. As we learn about the humanity of our ancestors, it prompts us to ask, what do we do when a stranger approaches? How do we face uncertainty, especially when we have no control over the outcome? This week was election day, but as of the time I wrote this, we still do not have definitive results. And we know that the election itself is only a reflection of larger issues that will continue to present themselves long after the first week of November. The election has continued to make us strangers to one another, with conversations of who voted for who, with disillusionment about who we thought we would be, or hope of what we think will be. We turn away from each other. We treat those with opposing views as if they are passersby in the desert. In response to the unknown, some act like Abraham, embracing what results we know and attempting to move forward. Some act like Sarah, laughing in disbelief and doubting their capability to proceed. In recent chapters of our country's history, not only individuals, but also groups have become strangers to each other. Since the last presidential election, hate crimes and acts of intolerance have skyrocketed. We've experienced the worst attack on Jews in American history, along with swastikas appearing all over, and chants and actions reminiscent of dark times in our Jewish people's history. In our country, innocent people are targeted and killed merely for what they look like. Elementary school children chant "Build a Wall" to their Hispanic classmates. People are beaten for just loving who they love. The list goes on and on and on. All of the vibrant groups of people that make up our melting pot of a country have become estranged from one another. We only see each other's differences, the things that set us apart. Many live in terror that their basic human rights are disappearing. Many are incredibly fearful of the future. The stranger that is the future will come, and there is nothing we can do about that. But we do have some agency as to how we react to the strangers who are our fellow Americans. Ultimately, Abraham and Sarah welcome the messengers. Both provide incredible hospitality by giving their visitors food and water. During this major time of transition, as we sit at the entrance to our tents, like Abraham, let us be inspired to learn about the stranger. Like Sarah, let us do our best to continue to dream, even as we doubt what the future will bring. What Abraham and Sarah don't know at first is that these are no ordinary men. The biblical commentator Rashbam tells us that these 3 visitors are angels. He writes that because God sent them to deliver their message, it is the same as if God had appeared on earth. These strangers, these others, are physical manifestations of God. They represent the unknown future, and they also represent the great potential for holiness that exists in our world. What if we saw the other as God's messengers? What if we opened ourselves to those who approach us, whether they want to tell us a joke in the mall or deliver us news that will change our lives, or something in between? Now, in this time of transition, it is more important than ever to embrace those we do not know. People seeking hospitality, acceptance, and tolerance. People whose rights and liberties are at stake because of who they were born to be. Our very human ancestors demonstrate in this week's Torah portion that basic kindness, empathy, and compassion can go a long way. Indeed, it leads to the blessing of them having a child and blessings for future generations all the way to us. Let us now take up that mantle and act on the legacy of openness, hospitality, and understanding that Abraham and Sarah left us. May we not retreat into our tents, but move forward together, even as we may sometimes doubt we are capable. If we see strangers as godly, if we treat them with respect, even in the face of uncertainty, we create great blessing for ourselves, for others, and for the generations yet to come. Amen.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you.
Make me a channel of your peace.
Make me a channel of your
Where
peace.
there's despair in life,
Where
let me
there's
bring
despair in life, let me
hope. Where
bring
there's
hope.
darkness, only
Where there is
light.
darkness, only
And where there's
light,
sadness,
ever
ever joy.
Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. O Master, grant that I may never see so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace.
Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope.
There is darkness, and where there's sadness, ever joy.
Shabbat Shalom once again. This week, there's a lot coming up at Anshe Emeth, as always. On Wednesday, we have our Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Miller, with special guest Rabbi Lee Lerner. So tune in Wednesday afternoon. The link will be in your Monday email. On Sunday, November 15th, we have two very exciting events. We have our next Keepers of Jewish Excellence with guest Alan Feinberg. There is an RSVP and registration required to join that event, so look at your emails, you'll find out how to do that. And we also have that afternoon, the 15th at 2 p.m., a special program presented by Encore with Piano Dave and Cantor Stanton called Modim Anachnu Lach, exploring ways we give thanks through music. So Sunday the 15th will be a full day of learning and of music. That will be beautiful. And for everything else that's going on at our temple, be sure to check your Monday email. Also, if you have not yet followed us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do that. Just go to YouTube and search for Anshe Emeth. You'll find us. There's clips from High Holy Days as well as all the archives of our services. We'd love to have you subscribe. So just check the button next to Anshe Emeth and you'll be able to see all of the videos and the content we put out. So be sure to do that. On this Shabbat Eve, we are keenly aware that we dwell in a time of uncertainty and anxiety, and we are still in the middle of a pandemic. So we join our minds and our hearts and our spirits together to pray Misha Berach, sending healing for all those in pain and those caring for them. We join together in song.
Yishaberach Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Yishaberach Imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, blessed our fathers, hear our prayer.
Hear our prayer.
Hear our prayer.
Hear our prayer.
Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. And bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mishaberach Avoteinu, Mishaberach Imoteinu, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. And bless us as well. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. And bless us as well.
Amen. We continue with Aleinu on page 282. Please rise in body or spirit.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. On Shabbat, we remember those who have left us love, and we do our best to live up to their legacies and keep that love going with their memories. We remember those in your service sheets on your screen and those whose names are inscribed throughout our building. May their memories be for a blessing. Together, we recite Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 294. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yeruteh ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chayachon uvyomechon, uv'chaye dekol Beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemed kudasha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Za'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen. We close our service this evening with the singing of Adon Olam, found on page 321. Adon Olam asher bala, b'terem kol yetzir nivra, v'yeit nasa b'chefso kol, azai melech shemo nikra. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשיל לו להכבירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור קבלי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו הפקיד רוחי, בעת תשען והעירה, ואם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא, אדוני לי ולא יירא.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes, as we,
And-
before we join together in Kiddush, now that we can point a camera on him, I just wanted to thank Dave Schlossberg, as usual, for providing much holiness to our worship experience. So thanks, Dave. And together we will join together with Cantor Stanton for Kiddush.
ויהי ערב, ויהי בוקר, יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו כי שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
And please join with me for Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. May it be a sweet and restful weekend for everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.